Welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand podcast. I'm your host, David, and alongside, as in every week, our good friend Ahmed. How you doing, Ahmed?
Hey, David, how are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Our good friend John, unfortunately, lost power thanks to the storm that just went through. So hopefully, John will be joining us. I'm really upset. Was excited about to talk about OCB, Orlando City, all the events in world football as a unit once again. But the universe had other plans, and we're missing John. So hopefully he'll be able to join us. I would like to remind everybody that we're live. You can follow us on Instagram. We're live on X. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're on TikTok. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. You can hear this show on audio only later on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are at On the Capo Stand on all those applications that I mentioned, and on YouTube we're at David's Channel 76. Please give us a follow, a thumbs up, a subscription. That really helps us out. And with that said, uh, Ahmed, it was an incredible moment for the boys, but there was a lot of going on in this weekend. Um,
Yes.
going on, and for that, in the Euros, first of all, uh, I feel bad for our English friends that follow Orlando City as well. When I know through the the demographics that we see on the show on YouTube. There's a lot of people that listen to us in the UK and Ireland, and unfortunately, it's not coming home again. It's just taking a slight detour. Spain wins 2-1 over England. And then back here on this side of the globe, Copa America and the final in Miami, Argentina, practically at the death, wins at 1-0 in extra time. Obviously, Copa America, the final, famous for a lot of crap, a lot of incidents that happened, people that did not pay for a ticket, just basically bursting through the gate. Blemish. A lot of people were like, "Hey, if they can't do Copa America, how can they do the World Cup?" Reminded to everybody, 30 years ago, we did the World Cup very efficiently and very successfully. This is just a bunch of hoodlums that that just wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. And I reminded to everybody that Comebol was the entity that was planning the games, the venues, and all that. So you can barely blame the United States Federation for this, or CONCACAF for that matter. Um, I mean, any thoughts about the two tournaments that have closed this past
Y-
Sunday?
looking at the Euro final and looking at um, the Copa final, you see a huge difference in the way things were done. But let me ask you, wasn't there another situation like that with a final recently where there was a whole big issue with people getting into the stadiums? I couldn't remember when it was. It happened not that long ago. And, that was honestly to me, that was surprising.
You mean with Copa America now or
I
recently?
don't no, it wasn't Copa America. It was something else. It was another tournament of some type, and there were delays like that. I just can't believe that they didn't expect it. You had to expect it. You had to expect that people were going to do that, and for them to not, and to they basically let people in at the end without even checking tickets because they were worried that somebody was going to get hurt trying to get in. Like it was a safety thing at that point. So you had people in the stadium. I was talking to somebody, and he said they were people that had tickets and people were sitting in their seats and they couldn't do anything about it. So imagine you
Wow.
paid like $1,000, $2,000 for a seat, and you go there and somebody's sitting in your seat that doesn't even have a ticket, and they're like, "Oh well."
I will be asking for a refund.
Seriously. So I agree with you. The World Cup is different. We've hosted Olympics, we've hosted the World Cups, but you know, an organization like that should still be able to organize an event and have it run a certain way.
Well,
Like,
one of the things I have learned with Orlando City, and I learned this when the U.S. national team played Panama, and the situation happened where my wife is handicapped, so she cannot stand. She has to sit down, and we went to the game, and everybody was standing, and we were like, "Yo, what's going on?" There was a lot of people with kids that they couldn't see, and we told the ushers, "It's like, tell these people to sit down." And they're like, "Oh, we can't do that. It's not our venue." And we went to the ticket reps, and we were like, "Yo, we pay $450. My wife can't stand, can't watch. What's going on?" So they compensated us by giving us West Club tickets, which were great. But we only stayed till halftime and we left. It was just an awful thing. And
Yeah.
a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's football. It's football. You stand with every." No, I'm sorry. There's a seat. I'm sitting on it. Especially when I paid $450 for 4 tickets.
If I wanted to stand for the whole game, I could go to the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I have a hard time understanding why real football fans and real culture should be about standing for 90 minutes, be an ass to everyone else, be an inconvenience to families and to small children, and to tell people to suck it up. I've been told how many times how like you can only follow one club, you can't wear club paraphernalia, you gotta go fight. I'm like, listen, football is entertainment. Football should be enjoyed. Your brand of football belongs in the places where they have dog fights and cockfights, whatever. They go do football like that. Go do football in your neighborhood on a empty sand lot. But the quality of football that I want to enjoy definitely deserves this place. But I digress. I think it was a blemish on American football. I'm not going to criticize people by nationalities because it's not my place. When you
Hmm.
do that, you open yourself to be attacked. And let's say, I come from a place where football is not the number one team, the number one sport, and it is what it is. Opens the door for my argument that the American continent is only one. The North and South America doesn't exist. It's one continent. It's one solid chunk of land, and we should have one confederation. But I'm gonna tell you why that's not gonna happen because the United States, Mexico, Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil are very comfortable where they are. They
Hmm.
talk big game about wanting competition and this, that, and the other. But the fact is those teams are penciled in every year for the World Cup. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars that they're not willing to sacrifice for the fairness that the sport should be. At least Africa, they open it up to the whole continent. Ahmed is obviously familiar with that. It's like 40 something confederations. It's a bloodbath. And Ivory Coast, the host of the AFCON this past year, came out on top after battling some heavy, heavy competition. I had my team. It was Equatorial Guinea, the only Spanish speaking country in Africa. I was supporting those boys. And it was great. It was great. They talk about the Euros, but the Euros is a lot of San Marinos and Andorras and Gibraltars and Faroe Islands. I'm sorry, that's not competition. They want to crap on us playing Barbados and Aruba and all that. I'm sorry. A lot of the Euros is little teams that have less population than Metro Orlando, and it is what it is. So
Yeah.
I again, once again, CONMEBOL and CONCACAF, put your money where your mouth is. Let's merge and have real competition. That, my friends, and controversial. If we are going to merge both confederations, Greenland, the Falklands, or Malvinas, however you want to call them, have to be part of the equation. They have to be part of the equation. That's just
Right.
your
Right.
boy saying that football should be open to everybody. That's why I disagree with the stance of in the Asian Confederation to exclude a particular country. I'm gonna leave it your understanding what that country is. And also, I have said that New Zealand needs to leave Oceania and go to Asia. I'm sorry, nothing's gonna do great for Pacific football as long as you have New Zealand beating everybody 26-0 for the one spot to the playoff to the World Cup. I'll get off my soapbox. Can you read some of the comments, man?
Yeah, man, sure. We have tour rep telling us that we're starting late. It was 9:01, and then Mark Rodriguez saying, "I'm so late, gentlemen. Greetings to you both."
Thank you, Mark.
To both of you gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and thanks to everybody else that's on with
Yes,
us.
I have missed a lot of Mark because Ahmed keeps inviting me to the East Club,
It
and I
was
don't have the fortitude to say no. I'm weak at the knees when I'm invited.
oh my goodness.
Anyhow, Ahmed, unfortunately, John is not here. John and I and his family and my youngest son went to support the boys down at BVL, Buenaventura Lakes, and it was a great night for football. I can tell you that. It was the MLS Next Pro local derby against Inter Miami 2. There we have the great Barra Brava Barrett. You guys can see there. The guy's an animal, uncontrollable. Yeah, get the shot there. Uncontrollable. Barrett in 10 years is gonna be a legend of the terraces. I'm calling it now. I am calling it now. And unfortunately, Barrett has outgrown his Adidas shoes, the same ones that I prefer to wear for game day. So I'm disappointed about that because now we can match. But I wasn't wearing mine. I was wearing sandals because it rained. Basically, we passed Noah's Ark on the way to the stadium by my house, and by the time we got to Kissimmee, it was dry. And there's my son Isaiah, which I'm begging God send him a good woman so he can have a purpose in life. So there you go. So if you know of anybody single between 14 and 16 years old, by the love of God, send him my way, send her my way. And so with that said, the boys won. Oh, there's our friend Carlos Nieto, listener of the show. Carlos, there you go. Promise you a picture on. A lot of people take pictures with that. Please put me on the show. I always oblige. So we have that, and the regular hostilities ended 1-1 with a golazo by Puerto Rico's own Wilfredo Rivera. We got you see there the boys taking on the field, and we also had a tifo by ILF and the Rockets youth, by the way. Orlando City está la muerte, and I know there's a typo, but guys, these are teenagers doing it, and I appreciate the effort. Appreciate the effort done to let people know we're here to stay from the crib to the grave, Orlando City all the way. And I think we have the video of
A strike and he scores!
Wilfredo Rivera, unstoppable, unfishable. Why can't he play in the first team?
I know why. I know why. I know why.
Why is that?
Because he's gonna make the other guys look bad.
Goodness gracious! Maybe some guy that's making $4 million, perhaps. Perhaps it wasn't. It was incredible, and then the boys won the penalty shootout, 2 saves by OCB, and it was pretty good. And I can tell you again, unfortunately John is not here to talk to us, but the fact is that we saw our club president Jared Dillon, who was there with his family, with his girls. We spoke for about 10 minutes. I was able to tell him all the things that I like. I mean, Jared has delivered. You guys know I'm not a brown noser. By now, you should know that. And we have criticized harshly the club. We have done that because it's our duty to do so when we feel that things are not going respectively according to what we feel that the supporter should receive. I think it has been a fantastic idea by the club to reward the season ticket holders with free tickets to the games for OCB. We had a nice crowd. Game was awesome. Beautiful Sunday night. I think, and I was telling this to John that what made it feel good was, we didn't have a home game, and this was the only football in town, and people responded accordingly. If you have never made it to an Orlando City B game, please go. Please support the boys. Uh, they need it. They need it. They're the future. They need to know that you care about them too. And so it was fantastic. I just had a great time, and thank you to Jared for listening to this fan on the way out. He gave me a hug as we were paying our homage to the team after a win. It was technically a hockey win because we just got 2 points rather than three, but still it felt good. And and Jared, people tell me you watch this from time to time. I don't know why, but thank you. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for following through on what your goals were set out 2 years ago. I think the fans see that the game day experience keeps improving, and I have to make it public. I say, hey, Jared, maybe next year you should open up the opportunity for the season ticket holders to once again have the focus groups with you, so you could see where we are from where you took over to now, and what room for improvement the fans feel that need to be out there. And so thank you for taking the time. Jared has been a friend to the podcasters, not just the show, but everybody that produces content for the club. And I think that speaks volumes of the man. He's becoming a soccer guy. He came here saying, "Hey, I really don't know anything about the culture or nothing about what makes the club tick." And I gotta tell you, he was there on his own. It wasn't like nobody's saying, "Hey, you gotta go to the games." He's always at OCB. He's always at events. He was always at Pride with the first team. So that's appreciated from my perspective. So I'll get off the soapbox, man. If you have anything else to add,
No, man, I'm glad the OCB game went well. The nice thing about the OCB games, like I said, the atmosphere is much more personal, and that's not to sound like the wrong way. There is a decent turnout, but
Mhm.
it's a different feeling. It's more personal. You actually get to interact with people a lot more. Like, even like you said, Jared's usually there. The last game I went with John, he was there. There was a couple of other people there. You get a nice level of interaction with the other attendees and the players, and anybody there from the front office. So it's nice because you can actually talk to people and tell them your thoughts on things, and
Yeah, it
share
was
your
a lot of fun.
opinions. So yeah, it's great. I hope they keep doing more of what they're doing with it, because I think there's another audience there. I think there's definitely another audience there. And for me, I've always liked watching teams like that because you see the up and coming talent.
No,
You're
for
like, these are the
sure.
guys that I'm gonna see, in a couple of years playing for the first team. At least that's what
Right.
most people would think,
Free
So,
parking. It's
yeah.
free parking. Very convenient.
And where else can
Uh,
you get it for that kind of money? I mean, even if it's not free, what, $7, even $15? Shoot,
I'm
I mean,
gonna go. I'm gonna go far. Better product than indoor soccer,
mhm.
and it has such USL vibes from back in the day that I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot of fun and very inexpensive. The only complaint that I have, and I know it's not the club's fault, is the food that is available, such as
Yeah.
pretzels and hot dogs and drinks that are super overpriced. I got two Gatorades, $18.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, brother. I just because when you are irresponsible for your money with your money, as I am, I just put my card. I don't check prices. I was thirsty. My son wanted a pretzel, wanted a drink. Boom. And my son, being the his mother's son, goes, "Dad, did you paid attention how much was this, and I was like, oh, just enjoy the game. What's what's money? I make money. I as if life is free. And we went and got Jared Barrett was eating a hot dog, and my son was like, "Dad, I want a hot dog." And trying to avoid spending money, I said, "Well, you don't know if they're kosher hot dogs. They're not 100% beef." And I asked, and John volunteered information that was not asked of him. He goes, "I think they're 100% beef." I'm like, I just gave him the look, like, dude, I just don't want to spend $20. So okay, we went. I mean, Baird convinced me that he was enjoying the hell out of that chunk of meat. So I was like, I want to get one. And we went, and I think drink and hot dog like $27. I mean, we drop a 50
I know.
in food that you could go to a 7-Eleven and pay $15 for. It was ridiculous. So that's my only complaint. But I know the venue is the county controls that, and obviously they want to squeeze every dollar out of the fan base. So it's what it is. My advice: go well fed and well hydrated. That's all I gotta say about that. Go
Yeah.
well fed and high. And by the way, nice touch from the club, giving out the posters for the game.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The last time I went with John, we got a scarf, an OCB scarf.
No way, they were giving out OCB scarves.
Yeah, I got an OCB scarf, and so did my son.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
insane!
Yeah.
Come on, I mean, they should have been giving the scarves on the Derby.
Well,
hey,
yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe it was just like a fluke because I don't know how many that they had. Maybe the guy was just giving out a few, but when we
wow,
walked in,
no,
he
that's
just handed
pretty
them. I was
cool.
like, all right. I'm like, hey,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's good. We got a comment, man, if you don't mind.
sure, Wilfredo. Sorry, tour rep said Wilfredo scored a banger. And
Indeed.
after,
And I don't know if he watches. The guy that was there with the Puerto Rican flag. I mean, you embarrassed me in the sense that I should have been bringing flags. I was telling my son, maybe next time we come, we gotta bring paraphernalia to support the boys. Well done. He had this humongous Puerto Rican flag, and again, that's what makes OCB so special. Like, you can go there and be yourself. There was the family of a player that had printed out like the face of the player.
oh, nice.
Yeah, and Barrett they were giving him like, here, do this, whatever, and Barrett had his little face and was shaking it. Unfortunately, the cameras pan to the pitch and they don't pan to the fans, so
Yeah.
you never see the fans, which is a shame, unfortunately. But no, it was a great time, and I hope that you guys can join OCB. Now, one thing that I want to add is that I was asked, top 8 teams in each conference make playoffs. Top 4 pick who they want to play. So you pick your poison, right?
Oh, okay, interesting.
If you're number 1, you won the last one. It's a place to settle beef. Now, this is the thing: if you pick a particular team and they beat you, then you're gonna get it on social media. You gotta be embarrassed. Just letting you know. Right now, Orlando City's tied in 10th place with Inter Miami at 23 points. Inter Miami had a point up above us, but they got a point due to the game. We got a point due to the game, and then we got an extra point winning the penalty shootout skillfully. Miami scored 0, penalties, and we embarrassed them. Their goal was bounce off the first post and just bounce to the player, and it was a crappy goal. But as you guys can see, Wilfredo Rivera just scores bangers. And for those that follow the Puerto Rico national team, it was the same goal that he scored against Anguilla in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. And wow, a complete banger. I think the one in Puerto Rico was more impressive because that fan base is not familiar with Wilfredo and wasn't expecting it. But here, people knew the quality of player that he is. So OCB is going to be playing away this Sunday at 7 p.m. at near Red Bulls. So as you guys know, you can watch this on YouTube or on Apple Plus. So with that said, let's go ahead. Let me make sure that I cover all the topics. Yep. And all right, boys. So this past Saturday, the boys from the 407
I
went
got
to
yeah.
New England Revolution. The end result 2-1 victory
No,
over,
3-1.
oh, 3-1, I'm sorry. 3-1 victory over New England Revolution. First goal, well, I mean, impressions of the game. Let's go start with that.
All right. So we went down early, and I was afraid when we went down early that it was going to go downhill. The last couple of games we had positive games. We came out playing well. We've started to see some consistency, and we didn't come out. I feel like we didn't come out with that mindset. We just came out too passive. I feel for my liking. When New England scored that first goal, I was just like, that's it. It's just gonna go down from there, because typically that happens a lot. Not this season, not previous seasons, but this season, I feel like we get into our heads a lot. So I was pleasantly surprised when we turned it around and we got the other goals by Facu and Enrique and Facu again. So it's nice to see the guys pulling it together like we expect them to.
Mm-hmm.
We had the possession. We had more shots on goal. So all the things that you want to see. So really, I have no complaints because we're seeing some level of consistency. We're
Mm-hmm.
seeing some level of improvement, I'll call it. And the fact that we started out with Ramiro Enrique, I was just like, yes, because that's another big one. It's like, who are you going to start? Honestly, I don't know. Even before Muriel, I don't know why we didn't start Enrique more often,
Mm-hmm.
just in general. Like the times he's played, he's made some big contributions to the team, and I definitely feel like, I hope this is one of those things that, kind of like when Duncan started starting and they gave what's his name a rest. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. When they started
Gave who a rest?
um the guy that we traded. Oh my god,
Oh,
Kara. Sorry,
yeah,
Kara.
yes,
Right? When they started bringing started Duncan. So I'm glad that they're starting Enrique. Give him a chance,
yeah.
man.
And my thing of the game was first goal completely avoidable. It was Rodrigo Schlegel being very sloppy ball
Mhm.
watching.
Yeah.
I think he redeemed himself with some of his defensive work later on, but a better team would have cooked us. And then after that, Facundo Torres, he just pulled a golazo.
Yeah.
The one that impressed me was Ramiro Enrique being crafty, being a nuisance, being dangerous. Literally everybody just stood there expecting the goalkeeper for New England to just grab the ball and let's move on to the next thing. And he's like, no, I'm not going to wait. And he just
Mhm.
went there with a back heel, boom. It's 2-1. And at that point, New England was like, oh, wait a minute. We were winning, we were tied, and now we're losing. And then Luis Muriel with a very unselfish move, which tells me that he understands that the club comes first. He just passed the ball to Facundo Torres, who burned the goalkeeper with an incredible outreach of skill. And that's 3-1. Once again, We are yet to see a hat trick from an Orlando City player. The wait continues. 9 years since the last time a boy in purple will manage to say I had a hat trick. Uh,
Hmm.
Kyle Aaron continues. The ghost of Kyle Aaron, the curse of Kyle Aaron continues in this club, and nothing. We walked out of there. I don't think who was more surprised about the result. If the New England fan base, the New England players, the staff, another club that is spending more money than us, has better talent, and I'm sorry, guys. You know they lost. We were the better team, and 3 games in a row winning. The boys are back. Don't call it a comeback. If you saw the picture, the thumbnail for this video, Facundo Torres being paraded in his underwear. I jokingly I was telling a man, what if that would have been the pride and the club would have released a picture like that? Would people be as excited? That remains the question. But I'm happy. I'm truly happy that we managed to get a result. You know, winning is contagious.
Yeah.
Winning makes you think that you can win anything, and all the bad stuff is just forgotten. Wins, my friends, are like the Men in Black flash sticks. Like nothing cares. No, nothing matters. Nothing matters. We have 2 more games before the Leagues Cup recess, which, as you guys know, we're not gonna cover and we're not gonna attend because we have self-respect. We want to protect our national championship, the Open Cup, and nonetheless, I think at some point we have to take a stand. ILF agrees with us. Ruckus has let it be known that their membership are free to not attend, and there's a lot of people, and I can tell you that probably Orlando City is gonna be alone on this one. Other clubs have expressed their desire to follow through, and other fan bases are like, "Oh, this is a championship. I want to win." Go ahead. Let your national championship be killed because you want to see your team play preseason version of some Mexican team. Meanwhile, you're killing the in-state rivalries, the beauty of the Open Cup, which, by the way, semifinals are gonna have Indy 11 in the semifinals, and it's gonna be 3 MLS teams: LAFC, Sporting Kansas City, and the third team, LAFC Sporting Kansas City, and oh god, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a third team that is gonna be playing. Is gonna be playing in the 11. And I gotta be honest with you. I feel that the MLS teams that got to participate, they were handed the trophy because they really have to fight against real competition. They all the competition was USL League One and USL League Championship, and for that reason alone, I want Indy 11 to make it all the way. To
Sure.
prove that football is alive in this country and Don Garber doesn't have anything to own. So I mean, I would love to for you to go and give us your thoughts while I take a break.
Well, okay. So, I mean, just to wrap it up on the New England game, honestly, I think a big part of us winning had to do with us starting with the Kyle Smith. I know that David just walked away, but that's something we always talk about. Starting Kyle Smith has a special place in our heart. And I don't know if anybody saw the on Apple TV, they have these videos leading up to the games with the behind the scenes stuff. And my son came up to me a couple of days ago and he's like, "Dad, uh, Rodrigo stole your line." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, Rodrigo said to the guys, he's like, "Every game is a playoff." Literally. And if you see it in the
That's
video, I'm
it.
like, okay, so maybe the guys are watching.
Hey, listen,
I'm sorry, every game is a final. But it's true though, so I'm glad to see them starting to play like that, starting the Kyle Smith. I'm telling you, all of these little things, these are all the tricks, man. This is what it's gonna take. That's what it's gonna take. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. And I love the fact that we knew some things were not working out. We make the changes. The guys that came off the bench, they came for the win.
now the
And
question, now the
and
question becomes, how does this How does this work when the teams are more challenging?
oh, for sure, we're gonna have that chance to see that at home this coming up Saturday.
Let
I
me
mean,
get
if you don't
on
mind,
that.
if you can read
Yep,
the comments that we have
yep,
there.
absolutely. Misael said Summer Faku, absolutely. Summer Faku. You know what?
Absolutely.
It's the Faku that was somebody mentioned it, and they were saying how after the whole thing with the Copa, it was like his motivation. I just wish that would have happened earlier because we needed that motivation about 3 months ago.
No, no, absolutely. I gotta tell you, the fact is that the national team for Uruguay is in transition. Luis Suarez already took his curtain call. Messi, obviously, with Argentina. This may be it. Uh, the Argentinian team has aged out. Teams like Colombia are showing a lot of grit. Venezuela is no longer the whipping boy of South America. I think looking at at the Copa America, I think it's time once again, like I said, for both confederations to unite on a championship. And number one and number two, I think that it was a great tournament in the sense that we're starting to see a lot of young cats going out there and showing their talents. And I think, humble opinion, Facundo Torres has what it takes to represent his country. Is he a starter? That's a question that is debatable, but I think we're gonna see more of Facundo Torres as we move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Misael goes on to say Ramiro should continue because he gives that energy like Duncan. At Duncan,
Yes.
absolutely. And you know what? I think that's really where Oscar comes in and says, do I need somebody at this game to start out with that energy, or do I need to bring somebody in with that energy at halftime? That's really the orchestration part of it. I feel like knowing what the team needs when based on who you're playing against. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. He has that energy, and that's what helped. And then
No.
Tour Rep goes on to say, "It's okay. I forgot Cara too."
Yeah, yeah. I still follow him on social media, and he's been very
Yeah.
quiet in
No, I
Turkey.
follow him as well. Yeah. And then Tour Rep said Schlegel got caught goal watching and was marking space. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you guys texted me because remember I wasn't watching the first half.
Hmm. No,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, Misael says the Faku first touch goal was an awesome goal. Better than extra touches and trying to walk it in. I wonder who he's talking about.
Well, not for nothing. We gotta give it up to the boys. A lot of fast action. I think at the end of the day, they've been listening to the podcasters, and that's why we're winning. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say maybe it was motivation. This is Faku, but he always starts slow for us, which bothers the hell out of me. It bothers the hell out of me too, man, because this is the Faku we needed at the beginning of the season because we were relying on Muriel was showing up and people were looking for him, and that wasn't happening. Well, not that it's happening now, really, but but I'll
Yeah,
give him this. I'll give him this. That was a good assist. That was a very good assist to Faku on that goal.
yeah,
So.
for sure. Like I said, that was showing his pedigree. He
I don't want
understood.
it to seem like we're hating on the guy, but it's like,
Well, he has to store. To me, the problem with our league is the salary that the player is being paid is known. We label this player designated player, so the expectations are very, very high on those particular players. For all accounts, Luis Muriel, great locker room presence. Nobody has anything negative to say. Everybody is very thankful that he's around, very happy. For Colombians, Luis Muriel is, it's somebody that is spoken in reverence. And what's happening here is unfortunate. But if you guys remember, Antonio Nocerino had a very slow start in our club, and he left being a beloved player that gave everything he had.
Yeah.
And he came to us after a season of scoring 20 goals. And he came here and he scored one goal. He struggled. He actually scored two. One was ruled offside in Toronto, I believe, which was never, but this is before VAR. And then he scored at home. And, we were super excited for him. And, he still lives in town. He's managing Miami FC. And again, the fans are very patient with any player. The DPs, man, you gotta come here and scorch earth. Otherwise, they're like, oh, look at all the money that we're wasting. So that's just one of those things. Any more comments, man?
No, not on this game. I mean, if as far as Muriel goes, I really hope he does find his groove, because I think having that combination of the talent, where if everybody's up to the form that you need them to, could be really dangerous. Especially if we don't know what's happening with Duncan after the Olympics. I
Correct.
know we said it, so that's a gap right there. If Duncan's gone, basically.
No,
So
for sure. In fact,
it'll
let
be
me
a
see
good chance
when I
for
want to see when
Enrique,
the.
possibly.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it'll probably be a good opportunity for Ramiro to take up that spot too.
No, for sure. I wanted to see when the trading window opens in July. And excuse me while I Google. And guess what? The window
July
opened
18th.
the July 12th through Thursday, August 8th. And there's a secondary transfer window that is opening Thursday, July 18th to Wednesday, August 14th. So we don't know. All speculation. We have a open international spot. We may be trading people. Who knows? And also, Duncan may be gone after the Olympics. So we'll have to see. Well, guys, Orlando City gets the 3 points. Exciting night on Saturday. I wanted to partake on the X spaces for our friends at Orlando Lions Den podcast, but my account was taken down. So I don't know. I'm just getting all. I had an account that didn't follow anybody, didn't tweet anything. I'll only used it just to go and listen to the voice and make my comments, and it was taken down. That's how petty the Wet Blanket Club can be. They call themselves victims of my things, but I don't see anybody reporting their accounts. It just
Hmm.
happens to be mine. Well, boys, or friends, I should say, after incredible weekend of excitement, we go on to a new week, and that means that the boys of the 407 are going to be going to Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, the Volunteer State, to face a team that managed to fire their manager, former Stevenage manager, um, and I can't remember his name right now. Maybe the adult beverage that I took.
Yeah.
I actually we started recording minutes after I arrived from Jacksonville, so spare me. I've been up since the opting hour of the night. But Nashville, my friends, Nashville without a manager, Nashville, it's in trouble.
Yeah, they dropped 4 of their last 5 games.
Absolutely, 2-1 loss against DC this past Saturday, and they're in trouble right now. They are ninth place, so they are in position for a wild card game. Um, But if we beat them, there's a possibility that Montreal may leapfrog them or Atlanta may leapfrog them. They're in a lot of trouble, guys. They are truly, truly, truly in a lot of trouble. Our history with Nashville is spotty, early in their existence. We beat them single-handedly, but then they got the best out of us. In fact, the last
Yes.
three games, 1-0 result for Orlando, 1-0 result for Orlando, 1-0 result for Orlando, and those two results have been the two games that we played in the playoffs. This is the first time we see each other since.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right now, the all-time series, is 3 wins for Nashville, 4 draws, and 4 wins for Orlando. It's
Five.
a Wednesday game. Anything can happen, and Orlando walks into this as a favorite. Right now, Orlando with a record of 8-9-6, and Nashville with a 6-9-8 record. Important to mention about this. At home, Nashville has a better record than away. They are 4-3-5 at home. But Orlando is 5-4-3. So very, very even. Expectations of what may happen in Nashville this coming up Wednesday.
You know what? Honestly, thinking about it leading up to the show, it's very like for it is very even, right? It can go either way. I really think it can. And my big concern with that is we have this game on Wednesday, then we go back and we have NYCFC right after, right? So now we're talking short window, and the last thing we want is to have the guys tired for that second game. So it can go either way. I hope I'm looking at both of these as a whole. We need to win. I mean, at this point, we can't drop anything because easy come, easy go, right? We can't afford to drop points. So we need wins. We need to win this game. Can we win it? Do we have the talent to win it? Do we have the ability to win it? Absolutely. And we're on a streak. I just hope we don't lose that momentum. Even if it's not a great game, we need a win at this point.
No,
Um,
absolutely. We can't be sitting on our hands. We gotta take advantage. This is a team below us, and we have said it in the show. You gotta go demolish
yeah,
who's in front of you.
and
And
can't take it easy. We can't like be ahead by 1 or 2 points and then take our feet off the gas like we did at that last home game because we're trying to get
absolutely,
somebody to score. We need to just
I'm
drive it,
I'm of the
drive it.
ones I'm of the ones where we can say, hey, Muriel is of pedigree. We can find the he can find his own goal. One of the things that bothers me, Amit, is, and we have seen this. I can't blame the guys because they want to do a solid by a guy that by all accounts is an awesome guy. They want Muriel to score. By the way, Muriel had the 2 goals away, had the penalty kick that was given to him by Facu Torres. And to be honest with you, Muriel has to find he has to exercise whatever it is that is there. He has to shake off the rust. He
Hmm.
is a player of too much quality to be in such a mud hole. And but one of the things that I have noticed is when Muriel comes in, the guys tend to try to facilitate the goal. And what happens is we go from a very fluid, wide offense to this funnel, and
Hmm.
our opponents see that,
Yeah,
and all they know is just cover. Excuse me, cover. Muriel, and that's it. Another story. And we saw that at home, and we saw that on the road. And I think that at this point, to save the season, uh, each game is bigger than the one player that is a DP. Leave him alone. Let him, because I'm telling you, I am so glad that Muriel decided to put the team first, because that third goal, that assist to Facu, Muriel could have easily tried to go and score for himself,
yeah, absolutely.
and it would have missed, and God forbid something bad happens, they tied us. It's 2-2. It's Charlotte all over again, and we cannot give ourselves that luxury. We gotta win, man. Gotta beat people up. All
Yeah.
right. So, do we have any comments?
We just had two from Misael. I think it was
All
when we
right.
were
Let's see.
talking. Yeah, we had. He said, I think this is when we were still talking about Muriel. He said at the same time, it sucks that we're paying Muriel a lot and can't start him.
That's true. We got to find a happy medium.
Yeah, and then he says Steven is taking a shot. I'm not sure.
No, if we're talking about a manager, for those that care to hear, because I always insert my clubs, my overseas clubs in the show. Take a shot if you're playing that bingo. I think Stevenage already has passed Page, and with the manager, I'm sorry, my apologies. Right now, I can't remember his name. The fact is that Stevenage is very well has settled very well with uh, uh, Paul. Alex Ravel. I'm sorry, Alex Ravel, and as manager, and they had their first friendly this Saturday, 2-2 result against Watford. Obviously, Watford is a championship side against a League One side, and I think Stevenage did very well, scoring the tie game 2 microseconds after the before the ref whistle end of hostilities. That's the way you finish. That's winning at the death. That's winning at the death. So yeah, and on a note, for those that did not know, 2 years ago, uh, the team where Daryl DK plays had a friendly with Stevenage, and DK got to play at the Lamex Stadium, home of Stevenage, and I had told that to several people that work in the club that he played for Orlando City, and they took pictures of Daryl. They posted them on their social media, and they were saying, hey, we have fans in Orlando, whatever. And for all accounts, Daryl was very excited about that, very happy. This is when he was just starting his career in England, so he felt that nice connection because that's what football does. And talking about Daryl, we wish him all the best this coming up season. It's a break it or make it for him.
Hmm.
And otherwise, the pride of Oklahoma City may find himself back in MLS, and we don't want that. I think he has a lot of talent and a lot of ability. And Daryl, we miss you and we love you here, and we want you to do great. Guys, this Wednesday again, Nashville is in ninth place. We cannot lose. And then Saturday we return home. Football returns to 655 West Church Street in beautiful Paramore, Orlando, Florida. And Orlando City is going to be playing against uh, New York City FC. Last time we played them, it was a disaster on their mini pitch. New York City, um, this Wednesday is playing at Atlanta, a team that is having a nightmarish of a season. They're below us. And last Saturday they played to a 0-0 draw at Chicago. Surprising for a lot of people that maybe are saying that they have reached terminal velocity and now they're going to be going down. That's the expectation from a lot of people. I have said to John and Amit that if we play uh, New York City at home and we beat them, then I can start to believe. Then I can freely start dreaming, filling out my dream chit, dreaming and expecting great things from these guys. Guys, so far we're beating the teams that we're supposed to be beating. But can we defeat New York City in our home? Defeating them is a threefold victory. We leapfrog them further up the table for playoffs. We defeat, to me, who remains a rival. And last, we prove that they are who they think, that they are who we think they are. Because the fact that I have argued that New York City at home has such an impressive record because it's 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 not what it's supposed to be. It's just a mini pitch, man. It's like basketball court. We got another comment.
Yeah, we beat Nashville and NYC will be in good shape. That'll tie us with NYC if they lose to Atlanta. NYC is a must win. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Beyond,
And even then, we need to keep going.
we need to keep going. Everything needs to be a final. I think, this is one of the things that I have noticed. We win games, and you go on social media, and what happens? Where's the puppy out, people? As now, the people posting that stuff are people that have been MIA for months. And when we start losing, people are like, "Papi out." Okay, let's address the issue. We can be paranoid schizophrenics, going fire the manager, get somebody new, fire the manager as the season continues. And also, we can't disrespect one another. We need unity, and I don't think Oscar Pareja is a source of unity right now. Also, I have said before that when you win, Will Smith comes in with the flasher, and all of a sudden we forget all the teams, all the games, and all that we have lost. That happens.
Yeah.
And with that, I have to say we have to be consistent. I don't want seasons where I can skip 4.5 months of the season to start seeing my team win, to start to see the stadium full, to go to playoffs and lose at them.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yep.
to do that
Yeah.
because when I buy my season tickets, they include this chunk of time where it's cool, great weather, the stadium seems to be packed. I even told that to Jared. I said I correlate that the reason why in the summer the stadium seems to be a little empty is not necessarily due to our performance. I think it's because it's a sweat box where only true barra bravas, as the two men that you see on your screen or that you're listening to right now, can stand the huge amount of body odor and sweat. Because tell me you're an Orlando City fan without telling me if you take a bath in the sink at the stadium. I do. I wash my face. I get my hair wet. I mean, if you're an Orlando City fan, you have taken a bath in this at the sink in the stadium. Tell me if I'm wrong. So yeah. I mean, come on now, Jared. Please get some of those big ass fans. Please, for the love of God, or the ones like at Disney that spray water or some.
Yeah.
Man, what do you think, bro?
But you know what? You're right. You're right about the whole thing. We forget. And that's what happened the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season, I think people forgot, a lot of people forgot where we left off. That was my whole big thing. It was like, it's the same team. And everybody's like, give them time. Give them time for what? It's the same team. So I agree with you. We have a couple more comments.
Go ahead, brother.
Carlos Perez says, road to playoffs is going to be through goal differentials. That DC game was a godsend. Absolutely. And you know what?
Thank you, Carlos.
We need a repeat of that DC game at least 2 or 3 more times in order for us to be comfortable, because you never know what happens in the way that because we could be doing our job, but guess what? Everybody else is doing theirs. So we have a lot of
In fact,
ground to make up.
-2 is our goal differential. We're the only team solidly in playoff position that has a negative
Goal
goal
differential.
differential all the time. In fact, Charlotte has a 3. New York City has a 6. Thanks to us. Red Bulls has a 9. Columbus at 26. God bless them. Third place. Tell me, if there's a God, Columbus should be first, but it's what it is. 26 goal differential. They have scored 45 goals, only allowed 19. But that doesn't end there. You got Miami with 51 goals for 37 against for a 14 goal differential, and Cincinnati running rampant with the by a point with the supporter shield with 43 goals for 29 against for a 14 goal differential. So as of right now, based on goals scored, the team with the most goals scored is Inter Miami. better wash my mouth with kerosene after that. Um, yeah, and funny thing is they have better results away than at home. And I'm gonna tell you, the reason for that is because it's a sweat box down in Fort Lauderdale this time of the year. And now that Messi has an injury that may as well take him out. We have a suicide watch at MLS headquarters for John Garver, Don Garver, because probably when he saw those pictures yesterday, it wasn't Messi crying. It was Don Garver. It was Don Garver. Let's go ahead with the next comment.
Yeah, Misael says, I'm still poppy out till I see improvement. What I mean by improvement is getting further than ever before. First round is not enough. And you know what, Misael, we were talking about that because a lot of people are like, oh, if we make the playoffs, it's great. Not if we make the playoffs and we're in and out, right? We need to stay in. We need to make a long run, if not go all the way or go close to, the semifinal final.
To me, the goal is the conference finals and winning them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm sorry, my friends. We can't sit here with a straight face and allow teams like Columbus Crew, who the 2020s are becoming their decade. They already won 2 out of 4 MLS Cups. The 2 that they missed where they didn't make playoffs, obviously they didn't win them. So it seems like they make playoffs, championship in the bag. You got FC Cincinnati that was a bag of dog feces lit on fire for 5 years straight. They have more wooden spoons than my grandma at their kitchen. You guys remember that the big wooden spoon with the fork? That was all the rage back. If you remember that, Ahmed, I don't know if you remember that decoration.
Which one?
It was like a big wooden spoon and a fork that you will hang on the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
You remember that? So they had more wooden spoons than my grandma in her kitchen. And look at them now. And what happened with FC Cincinnati? They got a manager that knew what they were doing. They got a VP of football operations that knew what they were doing. They went and offloaded a bunch of waste men, nothing but trash bags with legs. They got rid of them. They brought people that wanted to win, and boom, you have FC Cincinnati that is a scorch earth. Then you have NYC. I'm sorry, LAFC coming in hot. You have a rebirth of New York Red Bulls. I'm sorry, you have teams, and you have Miami that got the Barcelona squad, and I'm sorry if it looks to me that Leagues Cup is out of the equation for them, which nobody cares about Leagues Cup, but it's a place on the Champions League, and you have a situation in which they may make playoffs, but can they win them? That's a big question. Making playoffs. Listen, 8 out of 16 teams, 50% makes the playoffs. When overseas, making playoffs is a very, very, very small margin. Some leagues, like the Israeli league, they have if you make playoffs to crown the champion, and then you have playoffs for relegation. That's cutthroat. That's very cruel. That you may miss the playoffs by a point. Now you're fighting for your life when you probably finish over 5 other teams. Then you have in the English game where 4 to 6 teams make the playoffs to fight for the one spot for promotion. Here we're giving you a 50% chance to make the playoffs, and in theory you can finish 8th and still win the championship. It's like when in school when you had those group projects, and there was the one kid that never did anything, and the team gets an A and he gets an A. I never understood that.
Oh my
but yeah,
You
it's
got a
what it
couple more
is. I'm sorry. We just, to me, making the playoffs, getting eliminated in the first round, we've done that, been there, done that. Getting to the quarterfinals, done that. We always losing them in fantastic fashion. To me, we gotta make the conference finals. We
Yeah.
gotta, if we're gonna lose, let's lose in a game where a trophy's on the line. And
When
if we
we
make that, then we can dream.
when we finished last season, I think we finished in second place, right?
We did in regular season and in
That
the league.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's where we should be. You know, that should be the expectation at this point, like top four.
We were a favorite for supporter shield. We were a
We
favorite
were.
for MLS
Everybody
Cup.
was talking about it, and we're gonna go down a
Right?
rabbit hole.
Well, yeah. Exactly. I know. The fact
Let's
that,
go to the comments because
let's
there's
go
a
to the
few.
comments.
Tour Up says, "You think that's bad? Try playing drums for 90 minutes in that heat." We'll
Yeah,
talk-
no, for sure.
yeah, man.
My
Absolutely.
respects, my respects to the drum corps and the horn section on the wall. It's not easy.
No,
Flipping ain't easy. I hear
underappreciated for sure.
for sure.
Absolutely. Then Misael says, yes, conference finals at least. We are already used to starting slow and then picking it up and getting bounced out in the first round. We've seen that movie already. And, I
Yeah,
think
for
it's
sure.
exactly everything we were just talking about. That's why the other day when we were talking about it, I'm like, make playoffs for what? Just to get kicked out? It's like not the way we were playing anyway. We're heading in that direction.
Yes.
Hopefully we keep going. And then Ray Wiedner says, in my mind, still a losing team, lost more than we won. Poppy out. There you go. There you
No,
go.
that's it. I have been one of those people that said, um, we got to continue to win, and we got to continue to reward the fans for us to say we have turned the page. And to me, Oscar Pareja has to take us to conference finals, or is more of the same. Because this is what's going to happen, guys. Let's say we make playoffs and we get bounced out on uh, the first layer of the playoffs, which, by the way, is a home and away. Nashville talk a lot of trash, and what do? We beat them at home, and we beat them in their home. Did they say anything about that? Because they were very loud. Oh yeah, 2 years ago we sent you packing, and what's his name? Chris Miller was crying like a little girl. Well, we play you twice, and we beat you. Nothing to be said. Crickets. I actually had to set up an appointment with my doctor because I thought I was going deaf because I heard nothing. I heard nothing. So anyhow, if we are embarrassed that way, you can't say it's a successful season. Making playoffs in any league year after year after year, it's like saying, hey, I haven't found a man to marry me, but every weekend I'm a maid of honor. That's what it is to me. Like I'm not the lady of the day, but I'm close second. And to quote the what was that movie, Talladega Nights,
Mm-hmm.
with Will Ferrell?
Yep.
If you ain't first, you're last. Second place, you're the first loser. And to quote the movie Fast and the Furious, by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. Okay, winning is winning. You want to know why winning is by an inch or a mile? Winning is winning. Look at our Open Cup run. 4 times, the fat lady was gonna sing, and somehow we had Facu Torres or Rodrigo Schlegel or some sort of miracle pull through where we went in. We took Miami to PKs. We took Nashville to PKs. Who else we took down to PKs?
I don't remember.
I don't know. And we play all our games at home. At home. When we say, my friends, that the football's a pound of talent and an ounce of luck, this is what we're referring to. If you watch the game Argentina Colombia, I was like, Colombia's gonna take this to PKs and they're gonna shock the world.
Man,
But
that was yeah.
the devil knows more because he's old than because he's a devil. That's in Spanish. There's a proverb. You know, the Colombia made one mistake in that whole game and they pay for it. It's that simple. England against Spain. Spain just wanted it more. It meant more for them. And I gotta tell you, Spain and England have a beef over Gibraltar that is close to 300 years, over 300 years old. And you know, a lot of people say, well, politics don't belong in sports, but they help. And Spain went there to win it. England thought it was in the bag, and a lot of the deficiencies that the English were talking about their club, they came home. They came all those checks. They came to be cashed at once, and they had no answer. I'm sorry, they had no answer. The goals that came from Spain were one and the same because England didn't have an answer, and that can happen to us. We can be this team like England that just stumble into a final, and after their own fan base criticized what the club was doing, the manager, etc., and next thing you know, you lose it. You're shown the door, and that can happen to Orlando. It has happened last year. Full house. You're playing at home. You are running in hot. You finish second in the league. These guys are third. Lucky to be there, by the way. And what happens? We go down. You would go down to 10 men, and poof, pops the weasel, and that's it. It's over, just like that. Just like that, my friends. Football is cruel and unpredictable, and it's not played on grass, but it's not played on paper, but on grass. Those are cool as a cool way to say goodbye on a show, and it seems neat, clever, but that's 30 years of watching this sport, my friends. Football is all that. Some people say that the pleasure is in the pain and the suffering. I had my friend Dino, who I interviewed on my channel. He's the color commentator for Stevenage. He traveled to Berlin to watch his country lose another final. You know, made incredible sacrifices getting there, and I just feel bad. Feel bad for a lot of good friends that went to the game, that had watch parties expecting triumph. Because I gotta tell you, it has to hurt to be the team, the country that invented the sport, and you struggle at it. You haven't won. Your single World Cup came in 1966. I don't know about you, but if you claim a World Cup that happened before man stepped on the moon, it's been a long time. And that's it. And honestly, you know, we need to put this for a country like the United States, where people want to be first on everything. People always say, hey, we won 2 world wars. We invented the airplane. We invented television. We invented radio. We invented telephones. We landed a man on the moon. Okay, we are the most powerful nation on earth. All this, all this, all this, but we cannot field 11 men willing to win a football game. And I'm going on a tangent, but it's important to say I don't understand why we can accept nothing but greatness on every aspect of our national life, but when it comes to football, when it comes to games, it's okay to compete. All of a sudden, we turn into PTA moms giving away orange slices and Jello cups and orange juice. I'm sorry. You know what? That's gonna be my Halloween costume this year. I'm gonna dress like a PTA mom, and I'm gonna go to the stadium, and I'm gonna be waiting by the tunnel with cookies, snickerdoodles
No, all you have
and
to have is
orange.
the little juice boxes and the orange slices. There you
Yeah, the juice boxes. I'm sorry, these are professional players, and
go.
it's time. I was watching I was listening to the latest episode of Orlando Lions. Then our friend JJ said, "Guess what, buddy? I spoke with Oscar. And I told him, I said, Oscar, you know that if this was anywhere else in the world, you would have been fired. Oscar knows. Oscar knows that he is a blessed man, and if the turnaround is because this man wants to go balls to the wall, then God bless him. What comments do we have? We had a bunch. I saw that.
Yeah, no,
You
no, we
know,
got them all. Misael just added to the costume Capri Sun participation trophies. There you go.
absolutely.
That
And
was
I
it.
gotta tell you before we read the comments, a personal note, and you guys forgive me. Um, the when my kids were playing football, they were playing in an academy league called First Touch. Shout out to Coach Paul. The coaches were all English. In fact, uh, Seb Hines was one of the coaches there in First Touch, and my kids haven't played football since 2017, so it's been quite some time. But they had a great time, and they just decided, hey, Dad, we want to do other things, and I respected them. We had a lot of fun. But one of the rules in the league was if you don't win the championship, you get nothing, and it was very difficult for me as a father to see my kids cry because they didn't win. But it built character and never say never attitude. And the first time they won the championship, I always broke my son's ribs. I couldn't believe it. I was so full of excitement. I thought we won the World Cup. I thought we won the World Cup, and knowing that they got there for sure by sheer determination, grit, and never say never, was fantastic. And they were able to win back to back. And unfortunately, the last time they fell short, and the kids were devastated, crying, angry, and that's good. That's good to have that desire to understand that life is not fair. If we coddle our children, how there's horrible things in life: divorce, heartbreak, getting fired, working really hard, not getting paid enough. Those things will destroy the soul of a man. But champions, and when I use the word champion for anything in life, champions understand that when they're down 2 goals, the best thing to do is score three more. And I think my kids learned that lesson, and that's why I'm completely against the this attitude of everybody gets a trophy. But let's go ahead and read the comments so we can start.
I think we're all caught up.
Oh, we are.
I think so. Yeah. Are we?
No, because I'm telling you, bro. I was watching. It's like
No, we read. We read. We.
the last one by Ray. I
Oh,
think is
okay. Okay. Yeah. Karen Bouncing. Can't wait.
yeah. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But listen, I am devastated that John couldn't participate today. I know he was very excited about today's episode. I know you're watching, John. Move, my friend. You, out of the three of us, live in an area that is always hit by power outages, internet outages. Right now, I want everybody, through the power of love, to convince John to move to a better part of town. I'm sorry, John, my brother. It destroys me because we had such a great time yesterday, and missing you. To me, the show doesn't work the same when we are not available, all three of us. But Ahmed, I guess I will be seeing you and John at the stadium this Saturday.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wednesday we are hoping that our boys grant us with the sweet nectar of victory out of Music City. And Sunday we are gonna watch OCB. Get to victory one more time. If you have anything else to add, my friend, this is the time.
No, man. I mean, I think we We said it all. We need wins. We need 6 points by Saturday. Six
Awesome.
points by Saturday, and that's it. Nothing
That's
else.
it.
Nothing else
That's
matters.
that's all we have to do. I would like to thank the 29 people that watched us live tonight. Also, remind everybody that we are live on at Davis Channel 76 on YouTube. We can be found on Instagram, X, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, on audio, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify at On the Capo Stand. Thank you very much, everybody, for being with us. We'll see you next Monday here, as always. Hopefully, John will be with us. And we say goodbye to you guys. The only know we know how by reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper, that football is cruel and unpredictable, that football is a final talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have never cried over football for joy or anger, have you really football? From myself, from Ahmed, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!